Hi, I'm the Flowergod, and I've been to the grocery store and I've picked up some beautiful flowers, a few small pumpkins, and then out of my yard I've cut some branches off of a plum tree, a peach tree, any of my fruit trees I have growing, almost any tree would work. I've cut leaves off of some of my house plants. These are called crotons. This gives you a good fall look. Peppers out of my garden. I start pepper seeds all over the flower beds and they just grow wild. What I'm going to do today is make like a table centerpiece for a buffet table. You're going to have friends over this Thanksgiving. You want to have something beautiful for the table. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with a little bit of height. Something a little unusual for a table, but it's going to be very light and airy at the top. I'm going to cut the stem at an angle. Now, tree branch is a little bit harder to cut, but if you can work at it, cut it with a pair of cutters or pruning shears. Make sure it's sharp, so you want to sharpen it up a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to use this as a balance to the arrangement, because I'm going to have the arrangement come out away from the flower, or from the basket. Now I'm going to use some of my peppers. I've taken a few off, and these are just going to be placed throughout the basket, just to give you a little accent to your pumpkins. It really brightens it up. And a few reds, oranges, and yellows. And these are, I wouldn't suggest eating a lot of these because these are really hot. And I'm sharpening the ends, and I'm just going to hang these over the front of my basket just to add that much more flair to the fruit section and the vegetables. Now I'm going to add a few croton leaves in the front, and what I'm going to do with this is kind of bend them a little bit and just warm the stem up. That way they kind of flow off your basket. And the croton leaves, this is an oak leaf croton. The leaves have that oak leaf look to them. Really a good accent, good fall colors. Come in yellows and oranges and greens and browns. And this just adds a little bit of whimsy to your bouquet. And I'm just going to have them scattered all over, and this is part of covering your mechanics, and your mechanics is your oasis, your tray. This is just a little salad tray. When I picked up the salad at the store, finished it, instead of throwing it away, I recycle everything. Okay, now we're going for our flowers. And I picked out something to contrast with the peppers and the pumpkin. A little bit of lavenders, a little bit of purple. We have alstromeria, purple statice, lavender stock, and then we have red rovers. These are beautiful. This is your full. I'm going to start out, and I'm going to keep it fairly short because this is where my height is. And that way, if people are standing on the opposite side of the table getting their food, they want to be able to conversate with those people on that side. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of height, not much. And this is one of your larger flowers, so it's going to give a good focal point to your bouquet. Now I'm going to do it on both sides, so no matter what side of the buffet table you're standing at, you can see the flowers. Now what I'm doing here is kind of giving them different heights. So it's not like everything is at a perfect level. Now I'm going to add some stock. I'm going to give it a little bit of length. And what I'm going to do with this is start out real long, and then I'm going to stagger my stock back in. I'll give you a little depth on the end, kind of balance it out, because with my branch here, it's approximately the same length away from the end as the stock. Now I'm just going to add these down here, and this will bring some of the color down off the table. Now with this package here, I've got seeded eucalyptus. This is silver dollar eucalyptus. It's been dyed, stem dyed. Adds a little bit of finesse to your bouquet also. And I'm putting some on all sides, so again, people can see it from both sides. And this will kind of cover the mechanics up. And I'm using it throughout the bouquet. And again, this is how you cut off your laterals. You could break them off, cut them off. And that just gives you that much more to your bouquet. And after I get this in, I'll be adding some of the green eucalyptus to give another contrast to your foliages, which seeded eucalyptus has little seeds on it. Adds a little texture. I love bouquets with a lot of texture in it. That's why you use small flowers and large flowers to give you different depths. And I've almost got all my eucalyptus in. Now I'm going to go with the seeded eucalyptus. And this is a little more trailing, a little more delicate. And intertwined with the silver dollar just adds that much more flair to your bouquet. And again, this is part of your mechanic cover-ups. You want to cover all your floral foam and any of your things that you put the basket or your arrangement together with. A few more pieces here, and then I'll add some of the alstromeria. And then after I get the alstromeria in, what I want to do is add my filler to it. What that does, it just adds a little more brightness to it. Okay. I love it when foliages and flowers flow off of a basket or a container. What they do, they just adds a little more character to your bouquet. Now I'm going to add the alstromeria, and again we have laterals. The laterals can be broken down. That way you have a long section. And this is going to add a little bit of brightness to it also. The yellow contrasting with lavenders and purples and browns. I love using lavenders and purples when you're doing a fall arrangement. What that does, it just gives you more spectrum to the colors. And the alstromeria is such a small flower, they're almost like an orchid. Alstromeria, a lot of different colors. Purples, lavenders, whites, pinks, several shades of pinks, reds, yellows, golds. There are so many colors of alstromeria. Alstromeria are very easy to grow. Okay, now I'm going to add my statice, and I picked up with this. I saw the purple in the bouquet, but I picked it out, and I thought that's what I like, something that's going to brighten the bouquet up. And all this is just to fill in any little holes and add the color to that area. And again, all the laterals can be broken down so you have separate pieces that can be used throughout the bouquet. Gives you a little more color everywhere in your bouquet. Kind of brightens it up a little. Like I said, the purples, the yellows, and golds and oranges just really brighten it up. And almost finished. I like to look at the bouquet, make sure I have all my mechanics covered. It just kind of takes away from the bouquet if you don't hide everything that's being used. Okay, now that's the bouquet for the food table. And that can be seen from all sides, no matter where you're sitting, standing. You have a bouquet. You have flowers and vegetables, fruits. It can be done with any type of fruit that you like.